Uh, yeah, thanks everyone for coming. This is way more people than I was even daring to hope for. So this is great that you're now a captive audience to one of my oh so fun rants about my really great crusade on collaboration. I'm calling this Death to Handovers, and it could be just another new talk on design systems and how we should work together like friends. And I'm trying to stay away from all the things that you already know. And first I want to come with a business case for why do we need collaboration. I was reading a great article in the Harvard Business Review that said that working together across silos, it helps with user satisfaction, it helps with retention of your employees, which is cheaper than to continually hiring new ones because you tire out the ones you had. And this is all well and good, but when I come to my designers and developers and testers and everyone, they're like, yeah, but why should I care? I mean, I'm not the one with the money in this company. And one of the reasons is this, the design we're making. We go ahead and we make great screens and everything looks pretty. It's well documented. Everything is down to the very minute detail. It should be awesome. We put it aside and wait for someone to pick it up and have lots of notes saying, please come back to me when you start working on this. Developer will probably not do that. And this is what you might get back with a developer saying, yeah, it's good to go now, right? Let's push this out to the users. Awesome. And I'm sitting there like, no, can we start over, please? And do this better? And everyone's got lots of ideas and suggestions for how to make this work. One talk I went to, someone said, well, just make a design system. And I was like, yeah, but not that easy. And then there's the most cliche that every developer I have spoken to hates. It's let us into the room. And the last time I said this to a developer, I got back with, yeah, to do what? We don't really want a room to be crowded with flies on the wall. If that was the case, we could just do all our meetings in an auditorium. No, you need to actually have a reason to get in. And I was like, yeah, but we'll collaborate better if we understand each other, and everything will be much better. And then I finally got through with saying that we're all curious. I spoke once about UX people are curious because that's our job, right? We need to investigate things. We need to figure out what's best for the users, what's best for the company, what's best for everything and everyone. And then they came back to me again saying, well, all skilled people are curious. If I don't care about what I'm doing, it's not going to be good. And I got back to the drawing board and asked around, and I found out that lots of developers in Norway actually have interaction design as part of their curriculum. And that goes for my back-end developers working on critical part of systems that's far away from anything that looks like UX. So maybe you should just get together earlier. Let's get a seat at the table together, not talk about getting into each other's room. My Figma files are always open for anyone to watch, but why should you get into the Figma files to watch? Is it you probably won't understand anything because everything is a mess until it might be ready for someone to pick it up? And well, I don't understand half of the things that developers say sometimes. And I especially do not understand their code if I go into their GitHub projects, because that's not my job. My job is to make sure that we get good products at the end. And what does earlier in the process mean anyway? Well, it's a bloody mess is what it is. Earlier in the process, we're all in the space where no one really knows anything. We don't necessarily know the technology that's correct. We don't know what it's going to look like in the end. Everything's messy. And a lot of technical people like order. And it's just not like that. But yeah, if we all learn to accept each other's mess and accept each other and start being curious of what we are actually saying and what we are doing, and get to really enjoy the chaos. It could be better, but yeah, let's make a design system, because that will probably fix the chaos anyway. That's great. We'll work less, we'll understand each other better, and we'll spend less time documenting. And this is time and money saved. Great business case. Until you start looking at who you actually are making this for. I'm working in a company where we have 2 brands. There's at least 4 teams for the UX designers at any times to be in touch with and have collaboration with. And there's 5 product areas plus internal products. Piece of cake. Then we have all the developers, we have the product owners, we have customer service, we have marketing people, we have people all over the place who just needs something from you at all times. And in this company, we have 3 designers. There's me and a couple of other great designers. And this is fine. Awesome. Let's make a design system for something that's involving a lot of products that's already in the air. There's the button that's supposed to be the same everywhere is in, I think, at least 10 different instances. And this is where there's supposed to be one color. The curves are the same, the fonts are the same, everything should be the same. But every single product has their own button of this main one thing. And it is kind of like this. This is one of my favorite animations, by the way. Plastics Inventor. I suggest everyone go look it up. It's about Donald Duck baking a plane and then trying to ride it. And that's how it feels making systems and making design and working on something that will stay in the air, hopefully. And making a design system while you're in the middle of this is not the answer. And once I was really exhausted and overwhelmed, I said in a retrospective that this is too much. I need someone to put on the brakes. And then the Scrum Master said these golden words, that designers are a part of the teams. The team should have things in place that lets you have to do less and get breathing space. And that reminded me that the developers are part of the design team. Everyone who's involved with any products do everything they can to make a good product that works well and is technically sound, it's usable, and it's the best solution for what you're trying to fix. And I can make as good sketches as possible, But the end result will be the thing that the customer sees and what the user sees. And if my developers and my teammates can't make that, it means that the whole team has failed, not just me and not the developer who didn't manage to read the documentation. It's all of us. And I'm lucky enough to work in a company who always say that we deliver and we win as a team. It also means that when we do something wrong and when errors happen, we quickly figure out what to do to fix it and what we can do to make it not happen again. And then we don't really care about who did what, because that's not interesting. The person who did something critically wrong will know what they did and what they can do to not do it again. And that's punishment enough. And team culture is, I went to a course earlier this year where they said that team culture is what we're doing while no one's looking. It's those laughs by the coffee machine, it's the interesting discussions around the lunch table about this weird documentary that your colleague saw. It's getting in a car at 6 a.m. in the morning to get to a meeting a couple hours away at 8, and barely being awake enough to do anything, but still being a group together that cares for each other and loves each other as a team should. And it is about those internal jokes and making sure that whenever you get a new person onto the team, that they are able to join the ongoing culture and making sure that your jokes are open enough to let anyone in, and being open to people. And how can we make sure that we do all these things, like collaborate properly and talking about, it's all about communication really, and I could say that it's just talking to each other. But the main thing is that a design sketch isn't the end result. And this is where I go and say that design systems are really great, and I love them, and I would do everything in the world to make sure that everyone has one. But all sketches are tools for communication. It's not about how it looks like, it's about how well you're able to communicate. And create some space to learn from each other and learn with each other. Go to training together to learn all these new things. Try and figure out what your teammates are all about and what they love and what they are interested in. And don't be stubborn. One of the best ideas that I've ever seen came from a back-end developer in the back of the room while we were looking through Hotjar screenings and screen recordings of someone who tried and tried and tried to get their password correct. And we found out that a lot of people had trouble finding their passwords. When we got to customer service, they were all, yeah, this is the one thing that people are complaining about. We cannot remember our passwords. And this guy was like, why do we need passwords anyway? And why do we need to use big letters, small letters, 3 hieroglyphics, number, period, something? Couldn't we just say you need to have this many letters and then a way of logging in with another kind of ID, like passwordless solutions? And in Norway, we have something called Bank ID. And this was a company who worked on services that makes you have to identify you with Bank ID. So maybe we could just let you log in with that. So we did, and suddenly customer service didn't get as many calls. They still got calls, but that's because people are people, and what can you do? So the best ideas probably won't come from you as a designer. It will come from someone, and it can be anyone, not even part of your team. It's just be open for it and stop trying to say that I'm the one who knows best because this is my baby. I have done all the research. I'm doing everything. Just don't. And dare to be weird. Just show your colors. Show who you are. Let people know and get to know the real you. Because if we're all a bunch of A4 people in the same suits and everyone's wearing the same trainers and everything, you don't get that same feeling of togetherness, because everyone's the same. And we're not the same. We like sci-fi and we like dramas, and some of us likes watching really, really, really bad reality television. And that's fun and everything is okay. And even the things that I really, really don't care about is so interesting when someone comes to me and explains it and talks about what their passions are. We don't need to be the same because everyone's interesting in their own way. And then this is what a design system is really about, a common language. You need to build a language both visually and practically that will work for the whole crew. So make sure that your components are named the same both in code and in Figma is one way of doing it, and making sure that you have a flow where you know who to talk to and who to get help from, and you know who's ready. And this is one of the things that I've learned from my earlier days in roller derby, actually. Just talk a lot. Talk about anything and everything. Whenever there's a question, just ask it. It's way easier to get help from someone or to get something done if you're already talking. If you send each other stupid memes and GIFs and pictures of bugs or whatever, it's also easier to say to that someone like, hey, can you help me? I don't get this, or I need to get this done. If you already know the person. And if you know them well enough, you can send them the proper gift to get them to give you what you need. And trust the knowledge in your team. You're all there to be experts. I mean, I said earlier that a lot of my developer friends have a background with interaction design. They all know that they're not interaction designers. I know that even if I learn some code, that I am not a developer, because I don't want to be good at code, I want to be good at UX. And this here is where I feel the best. And that means I need to trust that my colleagues understand what I'm trying to hand over to them. They need to trust that I am doing what's best for the product. And when we have this this culture of trust that lets us lean on each other and to learn from each other. That's awesome. And remember that design is done by the whole team. You're not one designer. You're in a team of 5. You're 5 designers. Everyone is doing design, and a good designer is a facilitator for good design rather than the one true person who can do everything. And that is me. Just go out, make a great experience together. This is me and one of the team leads for the team that I mostly work on.